All right. Of course, nobody's here because well, I don't know what's going on with YouTube these days. Every time I want to do my live stream, it sets me up in non-portrait mode, which means the camera has to be, the long way, up and down the long way, and it just doesn't film that way. Hey, Jason C, good to see you, man. Just saw you yesterday. Welcome back. So we'll give a few minutes here, or a few seconds, or whatever, to see if everybody can stream back into this. Okay, there's everybody coming back. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what the heck's going on with YouTube. I don't. For some reason, when I set these things up, it keeps wanting to stream everything as if the phone is oriented up and down, and I don't want to do that. I get a lot better picture quality if I'm going the landscape way, or I don't know what that's called. Maybe the portrait mode or something like that. But man, a lot of people chiming in here, and I'm sorry, the names are coming through so fast. Jason, missed your last name there. I saw Jason C. I thought I saw Joe, Dakota Joe. There's Nick Padula. Terry Armstrong's here. Hey, there we go. Landscape. Yeah, that's what it is. Jeff Russell, Salmon Stalker. I got your question, actually, Salmon Stalker. I got that tonight. Matt Presidents is here. He's a good guy. Man, a lot of good people here. Hey, but just so I know for certain, could somebody please throw it in the comments that you can hear me and see me okay? I'm sure you can see me okay, but I want to make sure that my sound is okay. I guess if it wasn't, somebody would be saying that it's not. So, all right, Jason Wilkerson says all good. There we go. All right, cool. Man, people are just flying in here in the comments. Clyde Richardson just saw you, I believe. Man, it's just flying through. I can't keep up. You guys are blowing up YouTube again. All right. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm a little, excuse me, my voice is a little shot. I've been running trips all weekend, and hey, there's Jim. You first made it for me today. Good to see you, Jimmy. Yeah, running trips all weekend. Little on the sleepy side. Probably could use a little more rest, but it's all good. Yeah, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And but we had a really fun weekend with some really good people. Jason C was out with us yesterday with a couple of youngins and his wife, and we got into a nice mess of trout and a couple little kings there at the end. And then, excuse me, Rich Henderson was out with me today with his crew, and we had a really nice day out there. I think we boated 7 kings with a couple in the 20-pound range. And all the other ones were anywhere from like the 7 to the probably 12-pound range. 4 or 5 trout, one really nice trout too, and a nice steelhead. And so we had a really good weekend. The fishing's been pretty darn. It's been hit and miss really. We got into them though in the last couple of days, and that it was a really good time. So thanks also, thanks to Rich and thanks to Jason for coming out and booking with us and fishing with us. I'm glad you guys had a good time, and I'm glad your families and your friends had a good time also, because I always enjoy that. Anyway, so what's going on tonight? A lot of steelhead and whitehall, Terry. That's good to know, man. There's a few around here. There's definitely 1 or 2 coming in on most trips, but man, they're a blast to catch, no doubt about it. Smaller ones are better eating. Bob Hunter, yeah, I agree with you. But I tell you what, one king was around 20ish. One was like 18 and change or close to that. And I tell you what, these spring kings though, it doesn't seem if they're 30 pounds or 12 pounds. Boy, they're really good eating right now. Really good eating right now. Something about that springtime cold water really works well. All right, so what's going on tonight? So I believe in the last week's video I said we were going to cover meat rigs in some sort of fashion tonight, and it just didn't work out with some logistical things. I wanted to put the must-have meat rigs video out this weekend, and like I said, logistically it just did not work. I was too busy, and there's some other things that didn't fall into place. So we're going to push that a week off. That'll be next weekend. I'll have a video out. Excuse me. I'm sitting here eating fruit. Yeah, I tell you what, when you get burned out, when you're running you're out on the water a lot, there's nothing like fruit. I tell you what, it picks you up in a hurry. Fruit and water, you got to stay hydrated. I know that's an old cliche, but it's true. You really do, and a nap really helps too. But yeah, meat rigs we're going to push off to next weekend. I will have a video out somewhere towards probably Friday-ish, maybe Saturday, and I'm sorry. It'll be that like must-have meat rigs thing. Like we did in the past, we had the must-have spoons. We did the must-have spin doctors. We'll do the must-have meat rigs. I'll try and limit it to like, I don't know, probably 15 or so. I think that's a pretty good number. Maybe a dozen to 15. Just things that everybody can look at and go, okay, hey, I don't have that one. You know, that might be a good one to throw in the box. I don't have that one, or I do have that one. And you might look at it and go, this guy's an idiot. He missed my favorite meat rigs. I'm never watching another video again. But like I always say, these are things that have worked for us over the years very well. And the old caveat is I'm not saying there's not other ones out there that worked for you and they might work fantastically for you. This is just what has worked for us, and these are the ones that we trust. So that'll be out next weekend, and then we'll keep playing along after that. We'll keep putting out more content. But this weekend, this Sunday is just going to be this Sunday is just going to be Q&A. And I did put out a little thing. You know, we have a community section here on this page where you can, or normally in the midweek, I'll put something out there like what the Sunday's topic is going to be. So if you go in the community section, you'll normally see what's going on for that Sunday. And so this time I said, hey, we'll do an open Q&A. Send me some questions, and I think a few guys, well, I know a few guys, I'm not sure, maybe a half dozen or so guys or gals sent me some good questions. But we'll also hopefully be able to field some other questions here. During the live stream. It's tough doing this sometimes because the comments come through so quickly, and I know I missed some, and I apologize. I don't want to miss any of them, but it's just the nature of the game. I know I missed some, so if I do, try to throw it back out there, and I'll hopefully catch it the second time. And I just saw Leroy Dowding jump on here. Leroy and Deb Dowding from Purple Taco Fly Supply. Thanks for being here. Always nice to have you guys. So if you got any questions about Purple Taco and what they do, or if you want to get into fly tying, Leroy is here. He's here to answer any questions about Purple Taco. Man, what a great company. What a great product that they have. And I've said this so many times. There's nothing like tying up your own fly and going out there and catching a fish on that thing. It's just a really cool feeling, especially if you got kids. If you got kids and you guys sit down together and you come up with something together, and you guys go out there and fish together, and you catch a nice salmon on that thing, or really any fish on that thing. That is just a great feeling, wonderful feeling. And I did want to cover this again just briefly. We're still taking donations from Megan's Army. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when this video is over, I'll put a description, or a link up here to the video. You can go on there and take a look. In a real quick nutshell, we are raising, what I'm trying to do is raise donations for her college fund. She's a young girl that went through a tremendous amount of trauma when she was younger, in a terrible way. And now that she is older, she's moving on, and she wants to get into the field of teaching. And I know she's struggling to make ends meet when it comes to college. So I'm donating a charter to that. The winner is going to get a free charter, and donations are $10 a piece. For every $10 you donate, you get your name in the hat one time. But if you donate $100, you get your name in the hat 15 times, 15 times. And it's not just the charter we're giving away. We've had other people jump on and made some other donations as well. So there's going to be some really nice prizes. To name a few, Purple Taco threw in 2 really nice gift packs, and you're going to get a custom. If I remember right, Leroy, you got. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong and correct me, please. But I believe it was a custom bead pack, some fly tying kits with some really nice new custom colors in there, some nice additions. I believe there's a hat in there and maybe some other things. But 2 people are going to get one of those. Tangle Tackle here in town has donated 2 Okuma 45Ds filled with wire. So we're going to give those away to 2 different people. Big John Sports has donated, I believe, a 6-pack of their Mark Martin walleye, or I'm sorry, the Mark Martin rod holder series. And we'll give away those to 3 different people, 2 apiece to each of those. And like I said, the big prize is the charter here on my boat, and the date is your choice. I'm just not going to pick a date. It's up to you. And if that date is already taken this year, we can move it to next year. And if you're not interested in a charter or anything like that, of course, you could donate that back, whatever you want to do. I appreciate anybody that helps us out on that Megan's Army. It is a really good cause. 100% of the 100% of the donations go to her college fund. All right. So enough said on that. Again, to everybody that has donated, thank you very much. And you know who you are, and I'm going to read the list of names next week when we draw this prize. We're drawing the prize next Sunday. I'll read the list of names that donated. You know who you are. I'm pointing at you. Thank you so much for your donations. It is much, much appreciated, and it's going to go a long way to help this girl out. So big, big thumbs up for me. All right, we got 114 people here. We're 10 minutes in. Let's cover the fishing report. Like I said, we fished today out of I fished the last 2 days out of Manistee. Yesterday we ran up to the 19s to the 20s and hit trout in an evening trip. We hit trout really pretty much all the way through, really from the 18s to the 20s. And I fished anywhere from 40 feet of water out to 60 feet of water, bouncing my divers down on the bottom. Chrome spin doctors with the KRW Dr. Midnight, the KRW Wonder Bread. What was the other KRW? The KRW Bullhead, and there seemed to be one more that I'm missing out on right now. But anyway, the KRW Lake Trout gear was really working well off those Chrome spin doctors. Those will be available soon on the Tangle Tackle website, so keep checking back. They're getting loaded up right now. But yeah, we put a nice box of Lakers in, and then we ran back up to Manistee around the 15s and trolled through there and caught a couple small kings, but a couple, one or two, I can't remember, maybe one, maybe two, can't remember. It's all blending together now. But a couple kings on some spoon bites up there. So we had a really fun day. That was with Jason C. and his wife and his nephews. A lot of fun. And then again today we were out with Rich Henderson this morning. We ran out of Manistee and basically set up in, well, not basically, we set up in the 16 line, trolled down to about the 13 or the 13 and a half line, and we stayed, really, we were covering anywhere from, really 150 foot of water was probably our best water through there. And we're marking good fish out there, and I mean, I tell you what, my first mate Jim today, my real good friend, and of course he does some videos on here as well. He was mating for me today, and he just destroyed me. His side of the boat destroyed me today. Everything he had out there seemed to work. His riggers were going off at 65 feet down. He had a 2-color, 4-color, and an 8-color out there. Every one of those took fish. The shoot rigger I was doing, was a big white, the old Beckhold Big White with a pickled sunshine fly on there. In fact, that's the one. It's still dripping wet from this morning's trip. and so that was on the shoot, and I had that working anywhere from, I started at 75 and I worked it down to about 110, and I was just moving it through that water column based on what I was seeing on my graph, and that thing took several hits with several kings today. Divers, we were both running the, I was running a 10-inch double slick, Jim was running the 8-inch double slick, and of course equipped with the pickled sunshine or Riverside fly. Those both took hits. Jim had his low diver really down deep. If I remember right, he had close to 200 down. Maybe not there, maybe 180-ish. And I was working mine around 150. He was catching trout on his because they were suspended in the cold water. We took a giant rip on my side on that high diver back 150. That was a big, big king. Started off at 150, ended up stopping. No, I'm sorry, started at 240. I had it 240 back and ended up stopping at around 550. So he ripped off a lot of line, about 300 foot of line. The guy was bringing it in, and we got a couple 100 feet off the back of the boat, and the hook came out, and it happens. And I know he was really disappointed about it, but you're not going to get every one of them. It just does happen. So we'll get him next time for sure. But again, that was high divers. Anywhere I was working mine anywhere from 150 back to 240, 250 feet back. And then some of the spoons that we're working, Jim's rigger on his side, starboard side, it went a couple, 3 times with that moonshine spoon that I cannot remember the name of. If you know this spoon name, please throw it in the comment section. I keep thinking it's like green slime or something like that. It's something unique. But yeah, that took a couple good rips. 65 down on Jim's rigger. The old gold Rasta Goose took hits. Modified Blue Dolphin definitely took hits. The Green Gator from Stinger and the Stingray size took hits. And I was running on my side, I was running a 7-color, a 225 copper, and a 300 copper, and I never got a bite on a single one of those, which was really weird because we were getting great bites on deep divers, and the shoot rigger was really deep also. But all of our highline hits were on Jim's. Like I said, his 2-color, his 4-color, and his 7-color. Those were all taking hits, and so unique day to say the least. I mean, that's why you covered the whole water column, because you never know what's going to happen. Oh, we did take a nice steelhead out there also. Like I said, Steely came on like that gold Rasta goose. Great spoon right there. And also, Jim lost his Yeti coffee cup out there. So we're getting a fish to the back of the boat, and I hear clunk, and Jim's got the net, and he knocked it off the side. He had his Yeti sitting there, and off it goes floating away. And I was like, oh man, I felt terrible. And we're trolling back through the opposite direction, probably 45 minutes later, and he looks down, and that thing floats by the boat, probably no more than 5 feet away. And by the time he got the net, it was gone again, so he never did get it. So if you find a Yeti coffee cup up on the shores of probably Ludington by now, because the north wind's picked up, and that's Jim's, please return it to him. Get a hold of me, I'll get it back to him. But yeah, that's the other thing I didn't want to mention. So we're out there. Like I said, we were good into the Kings. The north wind picked up probably around 9:15. As soon as that north wind kicked up, the king bite just turned right off, which it normally does. And the waves started getting pretty nasty. And we fished to just about 10 o'clock, pulled lines, and came in. And I'm glad we did, because when I drove home after we cleaned the fish, it was already out. It was easily 4 to 6s out there and just ripping. So I'm glad we came in when we did, and I'm glad we got the box that we did. So anyway, if it was me going out tomorrow, in a nutshell, long story short, I'd go out of Manistee, I'd go south, probably work. I think that north wind's going to push him down a little. 12s to the 14s, maybe even the 9s to the 12s, somewhere in there, and I would check from 120 out to 180. Just cover those depths like we just talked about. That should get you some fish in the boat, hopefully. You never know. It's fishing. But that is a good place to start. All right. So that is the fishing report in a nutshell. Green slice. Somebody got it. Green slice. I was thinking green slime. So I was close. Yeah, green slice. Thank you. Whoever had that. Nailed it. Nice job. All right. A couple giveaways from last week. Yeah, the rest are DWs. Yep, Bob Hunter, you're exactly right. No, you're not. That is a stinger. That's a stinger stingray. So that is the green gator, if I remember right, or the UV green gator. So a couple giveaways to do. We had this really nice set of Ninja boards, the big ones, donated to the channel by Jim Dabrowski. We're giving these away. I asked you to pick a number between 1 and 1,000, and we also had the 2020 Chris's Top Picks Fly Recipe Pack with all the purple taco stuff in there. So I also asked you to pick a number between 1 and 1,000 on that. And what I did, I went and I picked 2 numbers. My wife picked one, I picked the other one. And the number for the Ninja boards was 97. And when I went and I looked through, it looked like the person that got the closest was at a 93, and that is Bear Bait Runner. Bear Bait Runner, pick number 93. You win the Ninja boards. Congratulations. Excuse me. And the second number I picked was 384 for the fly kit. And Bob Hunter, I know you're on here. I saw you, Bob. Bob Hunter nailed that right out of the thin air with 384. Right spot on. So Bear Bait Runner, get a hold of me. Bob Hunter, get a hold of me. Send me your addresses, please, through my email. Email me at christangletackle@gmail.com, and I will get those mailed out to you. Congratulations, guys. Well done. A couple real nice prizes right there. I don't have anything to give away this week. Maybe again next week, but we'll keep on doing that. Now, I gotta say, most of these prizes, I'd say almost all of them in the last couple of months have been donated by people on the channel. Matt President's to name one, Ice Hog 1990s to name another one, Jim Dabrowski to name another one, and there's other ones as well. Thank you so much. Really nice of everybody to donate prizes to give away on this channel. But again, the big giveaway next weekend is going to be for that Megan's Army. That's going to be salmon charter giveaway and those other prizes. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. So, these are the questions that came in through YouTube. Like I said, these are the questions that came in on that community section. So I'm going to read these off and then I'll answer these because these people took the time to go and type these out. I appreciate that. And then we'll stop there, or then whatever questions you guys and gals have after that, we'll post them in the comment section, and I will grab as many as I can, as fast as I can, or you might not have any. Who knows? All right, so anyway, Larry Chastain wanted to know, Chris, the fly I've had the most success with the last 2 years is the Tangle Tackle Signature Fly. I've never heard you mention it. Do you use it, and is there any backstory as to how it got its name? And again, that's Larry Chastain. So the reason, Larry, yeah, I do still use it. It's a really good fly. The reason I don't mention it often is it's because it's a purple taco tie your own fly. The recipe is on their website for that fly. You can buy the material, you can tie that fly. The reason I don't mention it much is because if I go, yeah, we caught so-and-so on a Tangle Tackle Signature Fly, everybody's going to go search that thing. They're not going to be able to find it in like some of the big fly places, and it might be confusing to them. So I'm glad it's working for you. How it got its name, we wanted to pick a really good fly and give it the Tangle Tackle Signature, and that happened to be the one. So no grand backstory to it, but that is how it got its name. So I'm glad that's working for you, Larry. Second question, George Kiersted. It says, hey Chris, I'm using a 10 color on the Ninja boards. How much mono past the lead core should I put out before putting the board on? And how long should my mono leader be? That's a really good question, George. Really good question. So today, when I was letting my boards out, I was thinking, I always notice I seem to do things repetitively. I'm stumbling over my mouth here. I'm just sleepy. What I always do is when I let my lead core out or my copper, when the knot that connects my copper or my lead core to my backer, when that comes off the rod and touches the water, that's when I put my board on. That's my little mental cue, and that's what I always do. I don't go any further than that. Letting more line out past that doesn't do a thing. In fact, it may hurt you because you're going to have much more line back there in the water and you're going to be more prone to tangles. The second part of that question was, how long should the mono leader be? I start at 15 yards on my leaders, so that's 45 feet. Then as it gets, it's going to get nicked up and it's going to get abraded and it's going to get chewed on. It's going to need to be trimmed. So that way, when you trim it back 4 or 5 feet each time, you got a lot of room to work with. And then when I get back to about 20 to 25 feet, I cut it all off and I start anew. So that's a really good question also, George. And this is from Salmon Stalker. Salmon Stalker, I believe I saw you on here already. Salmon Stalker wanted to know, when fishing multiple boards, the shorter and shallower lines go to the farthest out from the boat. Absolutely right. Do you let out enough line on the short lines to equal the same distance from the board as the longer lines? So kind of what I was just talking about. He says it feels like it would make sense to have all lures in the same area at different depths just to simulate a school of bait. That's a really good, that's a good question. But no, we do not. We don't keep them all back the same lengths. And the reason being, and this is my school of thought, is, so say fish comes in and it looks at my downriggers and it goes, no, I'm not feeling it. Passes on my downriggers. And then my divers go by him and he goes, you're kind of thinking about it. Now I'm going to pass on that. And then my next long line comes by, and then my next one comes by. And what I'm doing is I'm giving him multiple opportunities to bite something that's floating by him or being trolled by him, rather than all my gear coming by him at one time, and he gets one time to think about it, whether or not he wants to bite on it. I think after he sees maybe 4 or 5 presentations, he's going to think, okay, I screwed up, I'm hungry, I'm going to go bite that thing. And then it's too late for him. But yeah, it's a really good question, but no, I do not set them all up to mimic a school of bait. I do like staggered distances, and that's the reason why. Andy Spoonseller, or Sponseller, I'm sorry. He says, I like what you have shown with the Ninja boards. Thank you very much. Do they release or have a way for one of the connectors releasing so you're not fighting the board? Ninjas look really easy to use. You're looking to get into somebody who wants that question answered. No, they don't. Ninjas do not release. And there's other boards out there that do, or you can buy aftermarket releases to get them to release, but Ninjas do not release. And I've talked about this in other videos. I don't I don't like my boards to release. I think it gives me more control over the fish, and it actually gives me a little bit more breathing room with the fish. Having that buffer in there, that board, it almost acts like a shock, well, not a shock absorber, more like a leaf spring, the way it can collapse when the fish pulls on it. I think it just gives you a little bit better chance to get that fish in. But some people do love the boards to release. I'm just not one of them. Jim, I know Jim doesn't as well, and most of the other boats that I've fished on or made it on, we don't, or they did not set them up to release either. But to each their own, and respect to you if that's the way you want to do it. All right, this last one is from Kava, K-A-V-A. I got to read that. I browsed this one earlier, and I got to read this one kind of intently or specifically because make sure I understand this. He says, do you calibrate your reels? I understand how most calibrate, measuring out to 100 feet on the counter against actual 100 feet, and then add subtract the line until it's close to matching. But have you ever heard of anyone using math? I'm terrible at math. Okay, this is already going to be a fail for me. For example, for every 10 feet you pull out on the counter, it says 12 feet. Couldn't you just use simple equation x, y, 10 equals actual feet? Oh boy. So for this reel, x feet is needed, y is 12 feet times 10 equals actual feet. Oh my God. In this case, you need to, okay, he goes into more of the Kava. I'm not dogging you in any way, but what? My friend, I think you're way overthinking it. I think you're way overthinking it. Fishing isn't about math and numbers. It is in some ways. I can't say it's not completely. I mean, you do need to know what your rods and your reels are doing. You do need to know that you need to keep your spools full so that you have equal depths out or distances out with your rods and your reels. But fishing is about a lot of feel, and it's about a lot of experience. And I think that trumps a lot of other things out there. I don't mind where you're going with that. I think that's a good theory if you want to get into that so you know exactly what your stuff is doing. But I think you're overthinking it somewhat. I stick to that adage, I want my spools full because my lines are doing the exact same thing. And if they're off a little bit, I'm okay with that. I can still duplicate to a pretty darn close degree what the other one is doing. I concentrate more on what something feels like to me, how it looks to me, my eyeball test, things like that. I got questioned the last couple of days, when I'm letting my downriggers out. How much you letting out there? And honestly, I'm not even looking at the line counter. My brain is telling me when to stop on that thing. And that just takes time and experience, but you'll get there. Just get out there and go for it. I think as fishermen and anglers, fisherwomen, we sometimes get way too caught up in the numbers of things or overthinking of things, when really the best experience, the best teacher is just to go out there and screw something up. Because the best things I've ever learned is by going out there and doing something wrong and watching somebody who's better than me do it the right way, or figuring out on my own what the right way is. That taught me volumes more than anything I could read in a book, watch on a video, anything like that, watch on YouTube. Here I am talking on YouTube, go figure. But I think experience by far is the greatest teacher, and it's nothing wrong with screwing something up, nothing at all. That is, like I've said, that has been my best teacher by far over the years. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And again, Kava, that's a great question, but it's way over my pay grade. So anyway, good question though. All right, thanks everyone who sent those in. We are 28 minutes in, and I'm free to open any question that you may have. If you've already asked them and I missed them, I apologize. I asked a question about YouTube about 15 minutes before you started. Whatever that question was, there's no way I saw it. I'm sorry I couldn't. Fishing is like heavy metal. Just put some random stuff together to see if it works. That's a good way to look at it. I like that. All right, what else you got? If you got questions, I'm happy to sit here and answer up. Jim's on here as well, my first mate. Jim, if I miss something you want to chime in, please do, my friend. How do you stop line twist with slide divers? High quality swivels is the best way. Any place that I get a chance to put a swivel, like in between my leader and my main line and my leader to my spoon or whatever I'm running. High quality swivels all the time. That's best thing to do. Ever use braid with 20 foot? I'm sorry, that comment came in way too fast and it already disappeared. I get like 3 seconds to read and that's gone. When using the 100-foot rule, see, that one's already gone too. My gosh, I'm sorry. What time of the year for meat rigs? Okay, that one I saw. Rich, good to see you. Really, any time of the year. We didn't run any over the last weekend, but yeah, any time of the year. What lures would you recommend for a newbie? Dave, that's a great question, and that's why we're doing that must-have series on this channel. If you go on and you can look and see must-have spoons, must-have spin doctors, must-have flies, must-have meat rigs, must-have plugs will be coming out later. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great place to learn. Do I use Musclehead meat rigs? Daniel, I don't. I can't say I don't, but I have in the past. Didn't like them. And the biggest reason I didn't like them, they rolled great. They rolled great, but that clip that goes through the meat rig or the meat head or the meat itself, the strip, just tears that strip to shreds, and you get about one use out of it, and it's gone. So that's why I don't. Somebody asked if I use dummy flashers. No, I typically don't, because my shoot rigger has normally got a great big rotator on it. That serves as my dummy flasher. It's not even a dummy flasher. It's a real flasher with a fly on there. So that was my favorite brand of drift bag. Oh, Leroy, you're going to nail me with that one. I don't even know the name brand or the brand name that I have on this boat. I know Amish Outfitters makes really good ones. So that might be a good place to start. Jason C, you just threw one in and I missed it. Have you ever used braid with a 20-foot lead thinking you would get better hookups? No, Dennis, I don't. I don't use braid for leaders in any way. Braid is a strange animal. Of course, there's no stretch in it. You got to be careful with the braid on things, and that's specifically why I don't use it on my downriggers, is because I want a little bit of give in that line. Braid can be very unforgiving, put it that way. Hope that answered your question for you. What else you guys got? Throw them out there. Please explain the 6s and 9s, etc. Bill Knapp, okay. So 6s and 9s, if you look at a map and you'll see the latitude and longitude lines, as you look and you see those lines move from the south to the north on the map. If you look on Lake Michigan, just look from Ludington to Frankfort. And you'll see right around Ludington, that line is right around the 0 line. And as it goes north, every mile, it becomes 1, 2, 3. When you get up by Manistee, you're at 15. When you get up by Onekma, it's around the 20s. When you get up, and on and on and on and on. That's the numbers I'm talking about. So if I'm fishing in the 9s, I'm going to be about halfway between Ludington and Manistee. I hope that helped you. I get that question a lot, though. It's a really good question. Ever fish the Upper Peninsula? Yeah, I fished walleye up there quite a few times. I love it. Love the UP. Love the UP. Yeah, I've been up there pike fishing, walleye fishing, you name it. Oh, yeah. I know I missed some comments. They come in so quickly. If you only had one day to go on a charter to catch your first salmon, when would you go? Andy, that's a tough one right there, because if I steer you wrong, you're going to hate me forever. Early August. Off the top of my head, early August to mid-August, somewhere in that time frame. Typically, you're going to be able to get a king somewhere in that time frame. All right, Fishaholic, you say you don't have any coppers. You got all lead core. What would be a great copper to start with? I believe I read that quickly enough and accurately enough. 300 copper year after year after year puts fish in the boat. 300 copper. If I ever need a first mate, you know a guy. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I almost hired you yesterday, but I had Brian out with my good friend and first mate Brian, who's another charter captain. He's great. When do you start using plugs? Tom Anderson. Oh, really, you can use them any time of the year you want, Tom. Early in the year, I like the number 4s, but really, when they start getting into pre-staging, getting ready to run up the rivers, So I'm talking late August and or late July and August. That's when they really, really work well. Meat strips from last year still good, Patrick Forster. That's a great question. Yes, if you've frozen them or brine them, um, just take a look. You'll be able to tell. Take them out and take a look. If they're falling apart or got a nasty smell to them, don't use them. But I still have plenty in their original packaging from last year, and I know they're 100% good. I'm not worried about it. I went to the Big One cut bait last year, and I'll tell you right now, I'm glad I did. That is probably the best cut bait I've ever run. When should you start looking at pier heads? I believe that was Scott Wachner that asked that. Really, when the fish start pre-staging, you know they're out there in the flats or out there in the shallower waters around the pier heads, and I'm talking shallower, even out to 80 feet. You know that they're going to start coming in. When you get that first really strong north wind or a good cold rain, that's usually the trigger for them. I'm going up the river. So that's when I start really looking around the pier heads. And you can, the other way you can tell is because there's normally 5 million boats circling around the pier heads. That's another good way to tell. Have fun with that. Pierhead fishing is, you got to do it, but it is never much fun. All right, what else you got? Chris, any marinas up my way? Any reputable marinas that sell used boats up my way? I I hate to say, I don't want to sound crass here, but I tend to stay away from marinas or dealerships when it comes to boats and cars. I look towards trusted friends who may recommend somebody or do know a boat because you're going to spend less money. I tell you what, marinas and used car salesmen. No offense, but they're trying to make a dollar, and I get it. It's their job. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a dollar. You'll typically find better gear, better boats on the private side, just from my experience. Yeah, 143 people here. That's good to see. Yeah, Chrissy, a great place. Just go online. Andy just picked up your first 300. Yeah, get out there and use it. That is a fish catching machine. Something about meat rigs just came in. Trolling fast with meat rigs. Meat rigs can be trolled a little bit on the fast side, and by fast side I mean like 2.4 to 2.5. It's not a great place to be for them. I typically want, if I got meat rigs out, I like to stay a little lower. Sometimes you just can't get away with that. You got spoons and other things out there, but you'll still get bit even on the 2.3 to 2.5 side on meat rigs. Just take a look at your meat heads in the water, see how they're rolling. If they're down there spinning like a helicopter blade, you might have to adjust the meat rig a little bit. The Dreamweavers are adjustable. Some people like that, some don't. Some you can absolutely not bend unless you put a lighter to them and get them a little bit flexible. Just look at your meat heads, how they're running in the water. If they're down there just through the water like crazy, you're probably not going to get bit. What you want is like a flip every second to a second and a half. And by flip, that meat head comes up and it almost falls over. And it comes up and it almost falls over. That's the action you really want to see. Oh, do wire divers catch more fish than braid? Yes. In my opinion, yes. And there's something about wire and the hum that it puts in the water that I believe it outfishes braid. I think it also dives better with wire. I think it cuts the water a little better. But yeah, in my opinion, yeah, wire does outfish braid. That's a common question though. The wire versus braid on divers. All right, comments are slowing down. We're like 40 minutes in. I appreciate everybody sticking around. 150 people here. Ever use the lighted Pro Troll flashers? Yes, Dennis, I have, and I've had success with them. Can't say I use them every time, but yeah, I have, and they work very well. I do like Pro Troll flashers. I do. I don't run them every day. I got my Dreamweaver stuff that's out there pretty much every day, but I will mix in some of those every now and then. Just bought your first wire divers. Hey, congratulations. Go get after them, man. What size snubbers do you recommend? I run the Dreamweaver ripcords. I can actually show you one. I got them right here. Hold on. So this is the, there's no size on them. The black Dreamweaver ripcords right there. That's what I run. And I absolutely love them. What knot do you use on a wire rod to the diver? We have a video on that. It's a really, really simple knot. If you look on this channel, look back to the videos, you'll find that. That's a good question, and like I said, it's a real easy knot to do. What do you suggest for a wire diver rig? I guess I'm assuming you're meaning what would I put on a wire diver rig? I'm staring right at it. I mean, that's my favorite right there. Double slick pearl with a pickled sunshine or a riverside fly. That is it. That is a go-getter. Does the color of Dipsy divers matter, Matt? That is a debated question, and in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, no, I don't think so. Well, maybe in a sense it does, because all I use is black divers. If I get orange diver, if Dreamweaver all they have is orange divers or the Fire Tigers or things like that, I'll take them and I'll spray paint them black. And so I guess if that color matters, then yeah, the answer is yes. But I've always had really good success on black divers, and that's all I use. Have I tried the Fingar rod holders? No, it's not ringing a bell to me. Whoever asked that, no, I don't think so. What rod reel combo would I suggest for a wire diver setup? That's a good question. The reel I would recommend an Okuma 45D or the Okuma Coldwater 453D. Both have really good drags. The Okuma has a just slight advantage as far as drag goes, but either one will do you just fine. For rods, I highly recommend the Okuma Convector Pro wire rods in either 9 foot for your low divers or 10 foot for your high divers. The only bad part about that is they're almost impossible to find right now. Shipping is backed up from here to California. God knows how many miles long. We're having a heck of a time just getting anything in the shop. I talk to the owner at the shop all the time, and he's pulling the last of his hair out because he's trying to get gear into the shop, because I mean, salmon season is here, and because of the huge backups in shipping, he's having a really hard time sometimes. But keep checking back, and hopefully those things will be back in stock soon. But yeah, that's the rod reel setup that I use day after day after day. And I know, well, it's not the one I use. I use that rod. I use a Daiwa Saltus, which is a really high-end reel, but you can easily use the Okuma 45D. I didn't want to say something that was inaccurate there. All right, what else we got? All right, we're slowing down. Oh, John Filus. So he says, if I take a spinny out for the first time, do I change out these? Do I change out that swivel and put on a higher quality? No. Dreamweaver swivels, in my opinion, are some of the best ones out there, and I will use those Dreamweaver swivels that it comes equipped with all the time. Love those things, and they work really, really well. So no, I don't. You're welcome to if you want to, John. I just don't. I'm hoping I'm getting everybody's question answered as best as well. I'm hoping I'm getting them. Shock absorption between the diver and the fish. Yeah, Bob, you're probably answering a question for me. Yeah, that's what that ripcord is for. That thing will take all that stretch out when that fish hits. That's a lot of force on a diver. Do I run sliders on downrigger rods, Cody? What clips do I use? Normally run free sliders on my downrigger rods. If I'm going to use a fixed clip, like a fixed slider, I'll use the Alberta clipper. What's the best net? Brian H., that's You ask 100 people, you'll probably get almost 100 different answers. But I think the two biggest ones out there are Beckman. A lot of people love Beckman. I've never used them. I have Rangers on my boat, and I have 7-foot fiberglass handles on my nets. And the reason I have fiberglass handles, they don't telescope. I have a 36-inch hoop on there. My 7-foot handles are more than enough to reach out the back of my boat, get it past the swim platform. Fiberglass handles are for, because if you get a heavy king in there, or you get something that's already thrashing around and you scoop that fish and it falls down on the back of your fiberglass on your boat, that thing could take a chunk out of that thing. That fiberglass will take the abuse. Mark, joined in late. Hey, good to see you though. Jackie Barney, KRW Lake Trout gear. They're getting loaded into the Tangle Tackle website likely this week. They'll be available for you. All right. 150 people here. I got 39 thumbs up. Thank you for that. For everybody threw those out there. I really appreciate that. 41 thumbs up. One just came in. Bob, do I ever have a problem with the slider swivel sliding over the main swivel? No, because I use the Dreamweaver number 3 swivels for my sliders, so it won't go over those. Do you put backer on my wire? Dennis Beyer, yeah, I do. I'll take 50-pound mono and put that on there as backer, just so I can fill that reel up quicker. The wire's way more expensive than mono, so yeah, definitely put some backer on there. What's my go-to temp for kings? I've talked about that before, and that's another one of those things I try to keep it as simple as possible. For me, it's 50 degrees and below water temps. That's where I'm looking. How do I determine where to go as far as depths? D-Herb, that is the $1 million question. Is where do I go? Where do I start if I don't know these waters? There's no real good way to answer that. You got to do your little bit of research first. If you're not from the area, you haven't been out in a while, call the bait shops, check the fish cleaning stations, talk to some people, go on some websites, look at some forums. Come on here, Tangle Tackle, on Sunday nights. We'll try to get you in the right direction. Do a little bit of research and at least get yourself in the right area. You know, there's times when you can say, okay, it's late in the year. They're probably going to be out by the pier heads. There's times when the water flips over ice cold. They'll probably be offshore. Those in-between times where you're just looking for them, man, just don't go find the first charter boat you see and follow them, because there's a good chance they're looking too. Just do a little research and just get out there and go after it. And like I said earlier in the video, experience plays a huge role in this, and the more you do it, the more you'll get tuned in to a good starting point for you. I know it's not an easy answer, and the truth is that it's not an easy answer. It takes time. Networking, yeah. If you got friends that are out fishing, yeah, absolutely. Kirk C, great info as usual. Kirk C, thank you much for those thumbs up also. All right, let's bug out of here. If you got like a real, we got more coming. Do I know anybody in the Eastern UP? No, I'm sorry, man, I do not. All right, let's bug out though. Let's pop smoke. Let's get out of here. Thanks so much for everybody being here. We've been on here almost 50 minutes. We've been on here almost an hour. 157 people still watching. 63 thumbs up. Thanks so much for all that. Congratulations again to the people that won the boards and the fly kits. And thanks again to everyone who has donated to Megan's Army. Again, it's not too late to get into that thing. You could easily win a really nice charter trip. Those other great prizes that are on there, the wire divers, the rod holders, things like that, man, there's some great stuff. The purple taco gear, great stuff. If you're thinking about, I mean, for $10 for an entry, you can win something. That's pretty good deal in my opinion. Yeah, I'm pushing a little bit, I get it, but just because I think it's such a great cause. So yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks again. I'll see everybody next Sunday. Look for the meat rig video coming out close to next weekend. Thomas Hurley just threw me a super chat here at the end. Thanks, Tom. Man, you're a good guy. Appreciate that. I'm going to throw that into the Megan's Army. Let me say this. Somebody asked if I can super chat a donation to Megan's Army. No, we can't do that because YouTube takes 30 to 35% of those super chats. So I wouldn't be able to apply that whole amount. I hope that makes sense. So no, we can't do it through Super Chat. All right, cool. That's it. Take care, everybody. Be safe.